He said easy work, easy money. Do you
Don't
agree?
worry about what. There's no easy fight. There's no easy fight.
Why is he saying this? Why is he saying this? He said easy money.
He believes in me.
Yeah,
he
that's
believes
right.
in me.
I like that.
I've never seen like someone on X Factor that can't sing, but their parents believe in.
Going in there, I can fight free. If he starts getting touched up and losing rounds, I think the cookie will crumble.
Do you agree?
Whatever he said, we'll see if the cookie crumbles. I don't know what to say. I'm confident in myself. Like, I'm not focusing on him. I just know what I can do, and I can't wait to show it. I'm not gonna crumble. I'm solid. I've been through war.
That's what I'm gonna say. I don't want to focus on it being like about Jake. Oh, Jake's small, so that makes me confident. Jake's this, so that makes me confident. I'm just focused on myself. I'm confident in myself. Jake could be 10th. I'm confident in myself. That's what I'm saying. It's not about how he is. I just really like. I've got a good team. I've been through ups and downs. I've stood the test of time. I'm passionate. I'm hungry, and I'm still here, ready to fight my heart out. So I'm confident in that.
Anthony Joshua has delivered a calm but unmistakable warning to Jake Paul, making it clear that he's entering this matchup not as a celebrity attraction, but as a seasoned heavyweight champion with years of elite experience behind him. Joshua emphasizes that true confidence comes from world-level training, championship pressure, and surviving battles against top-tier opponents. Things.
Not just the punches you see, it's the feinting, it's the distance, it's the, oh my God, through that jab, yeah, the intangibles. It's going to be really interesting to see how he deals with the intangibles in that.
Yeah.
And that's why I said there's a few things that I want to do in the ring that he might not have seen before, and I want to see how he deals with them.
Yeah.
Always have a lot to say, but both of us have some of the biggest knockouts of the past years in boxing, and we're coming to fight. We made it smaller gloves just now today, so someone's getting put to.
That cannot be replicated by someone transitioning from entertainment into boxing. He explains that his preparation is centered on tightening fundamentals, sharpening combinations.
I myself with some of the greatest coaches and greatest fighters in the world because I have that hunger, that desire. Every time I've been knocked down or been in trouble when I was younger, came back 3 years later, got to the Olympics, get in trouble again before the Olympics, 3 years later, become world champion after 16 fights, win all the belts, get beat by Ruiz, come back and unify the division for the second time. It's just constantly drives my focus and my hunger to get better. So I'm going to be a tough man to break down 100% come December 19th because I've been building myself over the last year. I ain't been sitting back. I've been working.
And working closely with elite trainers so there are no surprises, no matter what Paul brings on fight night. To Joshua, this bout is not about hype, it's about showing the undeniable gap between a developing crossover boxer and a fully established professional. And he expects that difference to be crystal clear once the punches start flying.
I don't think it's necessarily fair to AJ. I just know that I have the power and the timing. It's the shots that you don't see coming that knock people out. And I'm a tricky knockout artist that people don't give me enough credit for. I've won knockout of the year. So he has to be careful. And I do have the timing, the speed, and the tricks up my sleeve to be able to hit a shot on this guy that he doesn't see coming that can put him to sleep 1,000%.
Adding to the broader concerns shared by fighters and analysts, Conor McGregor brings his own blunt perspective. He admits Jake Paul deserves respect simply for walking toward a challenge of this magnitude, but that respect doesn't erase the danger. McGregor warns that boxing is ruthless, and stepping in with a physically dominant heavyweight like Anthony Joshua carries real, career-altering risk, not just Netflix entertainment value.
He's gonna get knocked out by AJ though, isn't he?
If he makes that walk, gotta give him his respect for that. Very dangerous, you know. It seems like Netflix are all over him. It's a dangerous sport, and you can't overlook that. Joshua's a big boy and a powerhouse. I've sat ringside and watched Joshua. That's a heavy punching man, and he's you think he's a happy and he's a good thing. He has an anger in him. He has a darkness in him, does Anthony Joshua. I don't think a lot of people suss that. So, the fight shouldn't go ahead. My opinion, the fight shouldn't go ahead. If he does it, I'll give him the...
He describes Joshua as a powerhouse with violent, heavy hands and an aggressive streak that only seasoned fighters have ever felt up close. From McGregor's viewpoint, very few men can withstand what Joshua unleashes when he's locked in. He even questions whether this fight should be happening at all, considering the potential damage it could cause. Still, he acknowledges that if Jake is determined to take the risk, the courage alone deserves recognition even if the outcome feels brutally predictable.
I want to ask you about a prediction for Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, because I think a lot of people know what will happen, but is it dangerous for Jake Paul to be taking on a big heavyweight? You're a heavyweight, man. I wouldn't want to get punched by you here. Is it very dangerous for Jake Paul to be even taken on?
I mean, no matter what it is, it can be an exhibition fight or whatever fight it is. When two guys step over that rope and they got bad intentions or they ready to throw blows, it's always bad. You got to understand that boxing is a dangerous business and the head is not meant to be hit in the first place. Doctors will always tell you the head is not meant to be hit, the body is not meant to be hit, the head is not meant to be, the brain is not meant to be shook.
Veteran boxing journalist Gareth A. Davies echoes that same uneasy tone as he breaks down why Joshua versus Jake Paul is such a bizarre yet globally magnetic spectacle. Speaking from Dubai, Davies admits that many insiders still can't believe the fight is real until both men are standing under the lights on fight week. While he respects Jake's willingness to take on the challenge, he points out the obvious flaw. Pairing a novice boxer with a former unified heavyweight champion is something that stricter boxing commissions like those in the UK would never sanction. Davies even suggests that promoters themselves appear nervous.
A tick in the box and signing the contract straight away. Readily, you cannot see a victory for Jake Paul. I mean, you can't. I do worry about his safety in there. I do know that it wouldn't have been licensed in the UK. Even today, people are throwing conjecture on the fact that Jake Paul hurt his eye. He said it was Lawrence Okoli punched him in sparring and that the fight is off. People are almost looking for a reason for it to be off. I've been there myself in the last couple of weeks as well. I mean, I cannot believe, until I see them in fight week and until we witness it, I won't believe it's truly happening, if I'm honest.
Highlighting rumors surrounding Jake's recent eye injury during sparring, he notes that this matchup isn't just a circus act. The heavyweight division is unforgiving, and every punch carries serious risk regardless of fame. Although the fight is expected to break records and serve as an extremely easy comeback for Joshua, Davies stresses that all the pressure actually falls on AJ. If the fight lasts longer than a few minutes, critics will question him. And if something goes terribly wrong, boxing will face backlash for ever approving the bout. As debate intensifies around the legitimacy and danger of Joshua versus Jake Paul, analyst Wade Plemons adds another layer of concern.
And as I spoke with Nikisa Badarin and Jake Paul at the press conference in Miami a couple of weeks back, if Jake Paul does do it, it'll be the biggest upset in the history of boxing. The biggest shock ever. Maybe one of the biggest upsets in the whole of sport. Some people will question whether this really is sport. You know, you can deem it to be circus, you can deem it to be freak show. Spoke to David Hay for an interview in the Telegraph that's going in tomorrow, I think. And he was saying, you know, if he'd been offered this all those years ago and he was in the same position as Anthony Joshua, he said, I wouldn't have even thought about it. I wouldn't have even given it any consideration. It would have been a tick in the box.
By examining what's happening inside Jake's training campaign, the signs aren't great. He points out Jake's noticeable black eye from recent heavyweight sparring sessions, particularly against Lawrence Okoli, a much larger and more experienced fighter, whose jab and left hook are nearly identical to the threats Joshua brings. According to Plemons, this injury only highlights the gap between Jake's preparation and the reality of facing a true heavyweight. So, to wrap this up, voices from every corner of combat sports, world champions, MMA legends, veteran analysts are all saying the same thing. This fight is historic, but it's also incredibly risky.
It's a Coley, and especially if it's your right eye. If Jake's getting hit in his right eye, that usually would mean that he's getting jabbed, because that jab in orthodox would come out from the left hand on the right eye side constantly, or got jabbed big time with a one big shot, or, and this may be even more of a bad thing for Jake Paul, he's gotten hit with a hard left hook, one that he didn't see because it was right on his eye. And it looks like it landed pretty flush, as you can kind of see here. Question is, which one of those two things is happening? And question is, how is it going down? Because what we know about Anthony Joshua is that he has a nasty...
Anthony Joshua brings real heavyweight danger, years of elite training, and a mindset that doesn't entertain games. Jake Paul brings ambition, self-belief, and a willingness to gamble everything for legacy. That's why the world is watching. Maybe Jake shocks the world, or maybe reality hits him as hard as a heavyweight right hand. Either way, we're witnessing a moment that could reshape boxing for better or for worse. Now it's your turn. Do you think Jake Paul survives even a single clean punch from Anthony Joshua? Or does this entire experiment end the moment a real heavyweight connects? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let the debate explode. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.